Good morning and welcome back to day 8 of our December $20,000 month challenge. So today, unfortunately, last night just ended up getting home late and it was a really long day. So I ended up not getting anything scheduled for today. So what that means is today is going to be sending out estimates, replying to customers, and trying to just get jobs sold and jobs on the board. I've got a couple of sales calls that you're going to watch here in just a sec. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. We're going to get right into it.
Hello.
Hello, is this John?
It is. Is this Kevin?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I apologize for getting back to you. This rain's just brought some craziness.
I kind of figured you might be a little busy these days.
Yeah, it's kind of how it goes. But we're here now, and it sounded like you were just looking for some gutter cleaning.
Yeah,
All right.
basically. So we cards on the table. We've been using Lincoln
Okay.
For the last few years, but they've gone through some changes that we're not willing to go with. So we're looking for a new service provider for that. So basically, I just kind of wanted to get some pricing, scope of work kind of stuff. Do you, when you're up there, do you zinc the roofs?
Okay, so I'll just kind of give you a brief overview. So essentially, what we do, I can do whatever you're necessarily asking for when it comes to the roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, that kind of thing. I do not use zinc. I use a more commercial version of baking soda, so it's a heavier granule, so it resists the wind substantially better. It doesn't clump up like zinc does, and it works just as well, if not better, than the zinc does. So also, if you have pets, zinc might make them sick. Baking soda, they're going to have to eat a lot to get sick,
Right, yeah, we don't have any pets outside, but there is wildlife that comes through.
Yep. Well, that and also zinc can end up causing damage to the grass a lot easier than baking soda will. So anyways, blah, blah, blah. That's what I use to treat roofs. That is something that I can add in. It's not necessarily included. So essentially, if I'm showing up there to take care of your roof, what I would charge for would be doing a gutter cleaning or doing a powder treatment or doing both, essentially. So that would be two line items on the estimate right there. Whenever I'm showing up, that is included. Blowing off the roof is included. So, because regardless, I'm going to need a clean workspace, essentially.
Okay.
So that's kind of the main gist of it. If I will clean the gutters by hand, so scooping them all out, scooping out all the debris into buckets, and then we'll flush it with either a garden hose or a blower. This time of the year, we usually only use a blower because there's so much standing water in the gutters that ends up doing the same thing. And then that will tell us if there is any clogged downspouts, and if there are, that's of course included, is taking those apart and getting them cleared out.
Okay. And so does that depend on the size of the house, the pricing, or is it a one size?
Correct. So it's based on the house, because every house is going to be different and require a certain amount of time, And so you actually read out your address, so it was
Yes.
Perfect. So all I would need to do, because it looks like there's some good pictures, for gutter cleaning and for powder treatments, I can do quotes remotely. Is there any moss growth on the roof, like active moss growth up there?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I tend to not get up there. I'm getting a little too old for my wife to be comfortable with me climbing ladders.
Yep.
I mean, we've had it maintained for the last 3 years, so I can't imagine there would be much.
Okay. Well, that's what I like to hear. Usually you'd know if it was bad enough to need removal, Yeah. So then I won't worry about that.
It's a preventative thing.
Yeah, well, and that makes a massive difference. If you can keep up on that, typically once a year. Some houses can go a lot longer than that, but it depends on the house and how many trees are around there, I could get you a price for that, for the powder treatment and the gutter cleaning.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. Well, then here's what I'll do. I guess the only thing I haven't mentioned yet was I'll also get before and after pictures of everything, so you'd be able to see there too if there was any growth, or if if I were to find any damage or anything like that up there, then you'd be able to see it, from my point of view. In other words, so I'd send you a whole link. But that's kind of it. So from here, I should be able to get that written up and sent out to you. Do you have any other questions for me?
I don't, other than maybe I know you're really busy, especially this time of year and what we got going on. What is, what's your calendar looking like at this point?
At this point, let me see here real quick. Just take a quick kind of brief overview.
Yeah.
Look at your house real quick on satellite. There's not very good pictures. It doesn't look like yours would take all too crazy long, so I could probably fit you in. There's a possibility that I could get you in the afternoon on Friday, but if not, we'd be looking at sometime this coming week.
Okay, that would be very doable.
Cool.
Yeah, so if you could, is that something, the quote, would you text that to me on my email? How does that work?
Email would be preferable if you don't mind, just because I have better luck sending it there.
Yeah.
All right, what would that be?
Okay, so it is my last.
Well, then I have all the information I need. Yeah, so I'll just have to take a quick look here in a little bit and get that sent out, but I should have that sent out within the hour.
I'm en route to home right now. I'm just getting off work, dealing with the commute. So,
yep.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you getting back to me.
Yes, sir. I apologize for it taking some time. I appreciate the patience.
No worries. No worries. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yep. Have a good one, and talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So it's not got very good Google Maps images, but you can kind of see here. So I got to be careful about giving too much stuff away on camera, but you can kind of see here. So it looks like to be a decent sized house, but it's all one story. So really it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm going to pull up pull it up on Apple Maps here real quick so that I can take a look at satellite and see, whoops. Sorry, I'm out of frame. And see what this house is looking like, and then we can get an idea for pricing here. And then I can kind of go through my pricing as well. Okay, so here's what we're looking like. So the Google Maps, right? We were sitting on this road right here. So this is our house, and it looks like Google Maps was showing us the length of the roof. So really this is not big at all. In fact, it looks like, so we have one gutter in the front there. It looks like, sorry, give me a sec. It looks like there's going to be one tiny little gutter over on this kind of side here. We'll go around. We've got a couple more tiny little gutters here. We've got one right here. And then either in the shape of a U, I can't tell, or just one along the back. So really, this is not bad at all. So things that I'm thinking about. So clearly you can see that the roof is very walkable. And so we don't need to worry about because that is a big factor in my pricing. Because, I mean, genuinely, we have to charge what we have to charge. You know, it's not like we need this. We have to make sure that it's a great deal for them, or two houses are the same size, so they both need to be the same price. No, they're very different, you know. So in this picture here, you can see they've got some big trees kind of by the neighbor's house, but some houses are completely surrounded by trees to the point where I can't even get a good view from Google Maps or from satellite. So in those cases, usually end up charging an extra $50 or $100 because I know that it's going to be a lot more debris on the roof. And that really, because I don't charge for, you just heard it there, I don't charge for blowing off the roof unless it's very significant. But that's something that I can take into account, because essentially the biggest thing here is I don't want to have to confuse somebody with a whole shitload of different prices. I do not line item or itemize, every ounce of thing that I'm doing, that I'm charging them for. I want to give them as few prices that I can. So you can still give them options, like only doing a powder treatment or only doing a gutter clean or something like that. But if I can combine essentially multiple services into one name, in other words, like on the estimate, then it's a lot easier to look at and to kind of understand. Because I've bid against people and my prices aren't like that different, quite honestly. I'm definitely not the cheapest, and sometimes I'm the more expensive one, but oftentimes that's because they're using some other company that just doesn't have the work, or they're underbidding. Anyways, the fewer prices you can get, the fewer opportunity that you're giving them to get confused by your pricing, in other words. So for this one, because I have a feeling I could probably knock this one out in about an hour. And so it's like, okay, well, what do I want to make in an hour? So here's a big mistake that I made in the beginning. You look at the pricing like that, and then you think, okay, so powder treatment doesn't take hardly any time at all. Gutter cleaning is what takes the actual time. And so, okay, well, I don't want to give them, the lump sum. So in other words, a price for gutter cleaning and a price for powder treatment that's, when they're both together, I'm making really good money. Because at that point, so let's give it an example. So let's say I don't want to charge, or let's say, how do I put this? Okay, so let's say that if I were to only go out and blow off the roof and do a powder treatment for this person, I would probably want to charge around $200. Okay. If I were to only go out and do a gutter cleaning, so blowing off the roof and do a gutter cleaning, I would probably want to be charging around $250. So then we're looking at $450 for that house, right? That might be a little bit more expensive, but here's what we could do. So the issue that I was having in the beginning, and I've seen it from other people too, is, okay, well, $450 seems like a lot, right? Well, it's because you're paying for materials with a powder treatment, right? You're not necessarily paying for time nearly as much. So in other words, let's say that because $450 sounded like a lot to me, because of whatever reason, I want to bring that total price down, right? And so then I'm going to say, okay, well, then maybe I don't charge $250 for the gutter cleaning. Maybe I just charge them like $150, right? Well, then they call you back and they only want a gutter cleaning, then you're fucked and you're only making $150, right? And then if you need to raise your price by $100, that's almost double, And so this is genuinely, I made that mistake quite a few times because I felt like the number that I was asking for was just too high. It just was too much, And in some cases, yes. So that is part of the reason that I do that, and one of the things that you can kind of steal from me, I guess, is like one of the promotions that I run currently, that I run ads for, is a 10% off discount when you do a powder treatment and a gutter cleaning at the same time. So then I can have standard prices on everything, but then I add that 10% discount in there, and it actually brings it down typically $50+, right? So it actually ends up making a lot of sense. And I think that that's probably what I'll do for this one. I actually don't know that I'm going to charge $200 for this, because I don't think $200 for the powder treatment. I think that I'm probably going to charge like $150, because even if I was going to do a $150 powder treatment in the future, I would still be okay with that, because that would take me 20 minutes at most. So I think that's what I'm probably going to end up doing. So I'll charge $250 and $150. So $250 for gutters, $150 for powder. So that brings us up to $400. And then I add a 10% discount in there. It's going to bring me down to around $350. And $350 for that house is good money. I don't need to worry. I mean, $350, I'll genuinely probably finish this in about an hour. That is a live estimate, and I'm going to go ahead and literally write that up and get that sent out to him. And we'll see how it goes. I think I have bid against Lincoln Gutters before, and not very often, quite honestly, for them doing cleanings, because they really just do installs. But because that's such a bigger company and they're not very efficient with their cleanings, their prices are just kind of astronomical. There was a house that was probably half the size of this one. This one's a 1,100 square foot house. And there was a house that was about the same size or smaller. It wouldn't surprise me if it was like an 800 square foot house. And they were charging her $800 a year to do the gutters, to clean the gutters, and do a powder treatment on the roof. And that is like more than double what my price would be. So that to me seems like a scam. Like that is just fucking crazy. So if you can get away with it though, I guess, so anyways, that's kind of that. I'm going to go ahead and get this written up and then sent out. And I think we've got a couple more calls to answer. So I've got 3 more voicemails that I need to respond to. And then I've also got quite a few messages to get back to. So we're getting it done. I'm going to give you an update here probably once that's sent out, and then get some more messages responded to.
Hello?
Hello, is this Roman?
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, this is Devin from Muckless Gutters. I missed your call a little bit ago. Looks like yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah. I had a gutter fall half on the side of my house.
Well,
I
shoot.
was just trying to see if somebody could come fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so quick question. Have you, by any chance, snapped a picture of it?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Well, I didn't see it. My neighbor sent it to me. I never go outside of the house, so.
I gotcha. I just want to see what style, because typically when that happens, it's the gutter spike that comes out. But some of the new gutters, they end up using screws, and it can end up being a little bit annoying. And so I need to see essentially what kind of hardware we would need to get that remedied, and then from there, I could get you a price and get you taken care of.
Okay, let me send it real quick.
Can you
just tell me the number real quick to send it to? I know it's the one you're calling from, but it's just for some reason.
Yeah, it's 253. Awesome. Okay, so that's the spikes. Not a problem. Oof, that one bent hard. Okay, so I have a good fix for this. The only thing I will tell you is that bend that is in there, that's not going to come out. So I can, in other words, I can rehang that gutter, but that is a very hard crease in there. So there's a possibility, it would just have to be taken, I would have to take a better look at it, but there's a possibility that with a crease that bad that it could leak. So I may end up needing to patch that. But what I can do, so those spikes, it's really not that uncommon for those spikes to come out because they're just nails, just extra big ones. But I have it's essentially like a lag bolt that I can put in there. It's the exact same size. They're even painted white. And so that'll actually screw into your rafter tail so that that essentially will not happen again. They're pretty much permanent as soon as you put those in there. So in other words, I can do that. All it'll take from me is taking a quick look here, getting a count, and then I should be able to get an estimate sent out to you. Is that something I could text you? The estimate?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then, was there anything else? Is that kind of all you were just looking for?
Well, what else I don't know. You guys do gutter cleanings, or you guys just do, I don't know why it fell. Was it like full? I don't know, or just...
Yeah, well, it's hard to say because, what I'm looking at, it looks like perfectly clean. But also that could be because it's standing completely vertical. So,
I would need also, I need to, like, the outside also clean. I don't know what you guys do, but...
Okay. Yeah, we can clean the outsides. And then, of course, mainly we're cleaning the insides of them. So that'd be a separate thing if you did want the outsides cleaned as well. But yeah, that's...
If you can send me a couple estimates just
perfect.
For that and that.
All right. That's what I'll do then. I will... So I'll write it out in the same estimate, and then it will just be different line items. And so if you want to take stuff off, leave stuff, whatever, then we can talk about it and get it done.
Okay.
That work for you?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Then I will get this sent out as quick as I can.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So here's an interesting one. So you saw me do that. I think it was Friday. I had to replace... his wasn't nearly as bad as this. I'll show you a picture in a sec. But replace those spikes with those bolts. I mean, just like I said, having those with you, it's such an easy upsell. And I mean, I think I said it on Friday that it's not that common that I actually get a call specifically for this because I promote it as a gutter cleaning company, But the amount of times that stuff like this happens is a lot. So these old V-style gutters, let's see if I can kind of zoom in. So they're pretty easy to distinguish. They hold a lot of debris. Like the amount of volume that those things can hold is significant compared to like the new 5-inch gutters or 4-inch even. The 6 inches are pretty comparable to this, but I think, they hold a lot. And so in other words, when a downspout gets clogged, you're talking about a significant amount more debris and water that's those things are holding. And when because this is also not uncommon, you can see here, so they have exposed rafter tails there, so there's no fascia board. And so that's just one less piece of wood that is grabbing onto that nail. So anyways, really common. It looks like I'm gonna probably I might even need to buy, maybe not. I'll have to count how many I've got left. But it looks like I'm gonna need at least 5 spikes for this one, and then I should be able to pop it up. The other thing too, so because I have not actually really had to do this very much, I've had to do it on corners, and I've replaced end caps of gutters, but holes in the actual gutter, I think I've only ever done that once, where it was like there was a puncture in it. But this one, just because of how badly this is creased, I mean, that is a 90-degree angle, and it's aluminum, and aluminum's pretty damn soft, and so when that stuff creases like that, there's a good chance that there's actually a hole in there. So that would be something that I'd have to either bring some tape with me or just kind of plan on doing it, but we'll see. So anyways, this is, I mean, really, really damned easy. I mean, cost for materials, we're talking, I think, like $15, 12 or $15, and this is an easy $150 job. Fucking easy. And this will probably take me 10, 20 minutes. Like, not bad at all. So, yeah, in other words, repairs, if you're good at it and you know them and you can do them well, there's substantial money to be made in repairs. And funny enough, I was just talking to my old boss who basically mentored me, who is doing roof repairs only. We were just joking about that last night, about the fact that literally the money is in repairs. Unless you're starting some crazy AI startup that's going to get you rich and then you can get out of it, you know, everything's in repairs. Like, that is the most unreplaceable job that you could be in, as well as, you know, some of the cleaning stuff. But I will say the cleaning stuff, I mean, if you have the balls to climb a ladder, you can clean gutters and you can charge a lot for it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get this one sent out, and then, yeah, we should be on to the next. I think I only have one more. I called a couple of other people and got voicemails. So I left voicemails, so I'm waiting to hear back from some people. I'm also waiting to hear back from some texts. I've got, I don't know exactly how many. It looks like I've got I have 2 people that I'm waiting to hear back from. I actually have more than that from the website form. That one I just do not get as good of a response rate, as I also had 2 people that I haven't heard back from yesterday. But so we'll see if maybe I get responses for them today or later in the week. And then, oh shit, I forgot to ask the address from this guy. One of the people that I missed a call from is responding to texts, and so I've got another quote. Apparently this lady's a realtor, which that can be a massively profitable thing if you can do good work for realtors. She was actually referred from a different realtor that I did work for. So it looks like she's looking for a gutter cleaning quote on her house and then potentially for her dad's house as well. So 1 lead, and that's potentially 2 new quotes I'm sending out. Not bad. All right, so that's text messages. That's website fill outs. I'm not running ads right now, so I can check, but we've got, I'm not going to show you, but going through my email right now, I don't have any new leads from Facebook because I turned off the ads. And then all that's left is in House Call Pro. So let me get this guy's address in so I can get past that page. So I have 1 estimate that I can write on House Call Pro. They sent me the address. I have, I think, 2 people that are looking for photos. They need to send me photos because they have moss removal. And quite honestly, so doing this challenge, I'm having to change things up a bit. And I'll be honest, my focus isn't 100% here. I've got some other life stuff going on. I mean, to be fair, it was also like the month of Christmas. It's only a couple of weeks away, and so shit's busy right now, personally as well. But so when I'm doing moss removal quotes, I'm sure I've probably said it here before, I need to see the roof and I would highly, highly recommend that anybody who's looking to do this, you do estimates in person to start. And then if you can get people to send photos once you've got some sort of reputation, that is substantially better. I still like to go and look at them in person because there's shit that I miss on photos. They don't know what they're taking pictures of other than just, you know, their roof. And so I look at some different shit. I try to see what type of moss, how much there is. If there's minimal growth, like it hasn't grown up very much, it is actually a lot harder to remove. And so I have to set different expectations. But because I've kind of got some experience with this, and I'm, for the sake of time, because I need to be working on, I should be working on a job today. I just had other shit going, and this was a busy last couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, so I didn't have a good chance to get shit scheduled. So in other words, I am doing some of this stuff remotely, and if I can get some pictures from these people, then I can send out some moss removal quotes, and we should be all the better. But anyways, yeah, we're busy as fuck. I also got tomorrow scheduled, so I've got 3 jobs scheduled for tomorrow. One pretty meaty one. One, it's a gutter cleaning. The second one and the third one aren't bad. So the second one is an old customer. He wants a gutter cleaning and powder treatment, and he apparently got new gutters installed not long ago, and so I gave him my original price, so the same price as before, but he says that they're like very clean. And so basically I gave him the original price and said, hey, you know, because he was kind of trying to negotiate with him. I said, you know, if I can get this stuff done quick, if it really isn't bad, and of course, this is where using company cam and getting pictures of all of the befores, it really helps, because then it's like, well, if they are full as fuck, then it's pretty easy to charge for, you know, the full amount, what's to be expected, because there was a lot in there and it took me a lot more time, you know? So that's the second one, and the third one is a gutter cleaning only, and that's an old job as well, and that one is that one won't be too bad. Just hopefully it's not fucking pouring down rain. So that's kind of that. And then Friday I need to schedule. So I've got one big job scheduled. It's a $650 job, and that's a good money job. That'll probably be like a $300 an hour job, hopefully. Maybe it'll take me 2.5, maybe 3 hours. We'll see. But $650, so I need to find another $350 job to schedule for Friday. And then we'll have our week. And hopefully, I'm trying to debate. I've got some plans on Friday, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make Saturday work, but I might be able to make Sunday work for going out and doing this. I have also got some family stuff coming up that I need to figure out when the hell I'm going to do that. So, well, that's kind of crazy. So, I just realized that we actually get 1, 2, 3, we get 4.5 weeks in December. So this challenge just got easier with that information. So essentially I have an extra 3 days of the month to work with. We're hitting 20 grand, baby. I swear we're gonna do it, which is fucking crazy from cleaning gutters, because I'm very excited to see the profit margins on this as well, because this is kind of the first time that I've really looked at it that closely, especially with challenging myself. So it should be really good. So I'm gonna get some more estimates sent out, and then I should be able to update you again as to where we're sitting. Hopefully I can find another job. Hopefully one of these jobs I can sell and I can get scheduled for Friday. So I can get my grand on Friday, and then, yeah, we should be good to go. All right, I'll update you in a bit. So I ended up not really getting any more big updates or anything. I have not heard back from the gutter repair or the that remote estimate, that first estimate that you saw the recording of. So waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully I can find something good for Friday, but time will tell. And who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I won't. I think we're just gonna leave today at this, and then tomorrow we've got 3 jobs on the schedule. We've got one pretty good gutter cleaning job. We have got a second gutter clean and powder treatment, and then the third job is a gutter clean only. And crazy enough, these are all for past customers. So I will see you tomorrow. If you're enjoying the series so far, hit the like, leave me a comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.